congrats. So you started working with a rideshare company. Have you given any thought to what happens when you start using that for work? Let's get into it. Whether you're full-time, part-time, or even one-time, the problem is that your personal insurance stops working the moment you use the vehicle for any kind of work or business use. In fact, some carriers might deny coverage during a time when you weren't using it for work, but they find out that on a regular basis you're working for a rideshare company. So we need to find a solution that provides you coverage through that time period. Most insurance companies provide a solution that says that you should insure commercially, kind of like if it was a taxi cab or a limousine. But that's insanely expensive, and there's all kinds of problems with using the vehicle personally on a commercial policy. Other companies say, well, buy a commercial and a personal policy. That doesn't make much sense either, because if commercial alone is expensive, imagine adding a personal policy to it. And then you basically have two companies, both a little confused as to which one should pay at the time of a loss, and they're kind of arguing with each other versus solving your issue. So the best insurance you can find for rideshare has to have consistent coverage through the different parts of the ride. Now, for the purposes of this video, we're going to use Uber and Lyft as an example, because their websites provide a lot of information of how their insurance works, where it starts, where it ends, and what coverages it provides for you. I've put the information in the show notes. So to give you an example, they break it down into three different parts: offline, logged in, and accepted a ride. Offline is simple. It's basically when you're using your car like you normally use your car. Picking up your kids, going to the grocery store, doing those normal things, and you're not logged into the rideshare network. Logged in, well, that means that you're logged into the rideshare network and you're waiting to accept a ride. So you're basically looking to see, who that next rider's going to be. Accepted a ride is, well, when you press that button and you're on your way to pick up the ride, and it lasts the entire time until you drop the ride off.
I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
But basically, just follow it. Not using it for work, started using it for work, actually using it for work. So both Uber and Lyft provide coverage during the logged in and the accepted ride phase. And obviously they don't provide anything for the offline phase. So the solution that we're looking for to be the best rideshare company for Florida basically has to provide consistent coverage during the offline and logged in phase. Now, what the rideshare companies provide for the logged in phase is much lower than the $1 million of coverage that they provide for the accepted ride phase, which is pretty much what everybody hears about when they're scrolling through Facebook or maybe reading an article about it. So we want consistent coverage to go through the offline and the logged in phase to make sure that the coverage you need to have is there. Infinity Insurance Company recently came out with an endorsement to their personal policy that says, unequivocally, we know you're using the vehicle for rideshare and we're cool with that. Not only that, we're going to provide you consistent coverage during the offline and logged in phases, and we're going to turn off the moment you select accept. Now, that's great, because the moment you select accept, your rideshare insurance company's policy is the one that takes effect all the way through the end of the ride. The moment you drop off your ride, your Infinity's policy will start right back up again. Now, to give an example where the consistent coverage is important is a leased vehicle. Leased vehicles require 100/350 coverage, and they require that you have comp and collision. With this endorsement, you'll be able to have the 100/350 coverage offline and during the logged in phase, because you have a minimal amount of insurance below that with the rideshare companies. Also, the comprehensive and collision will still be in effect during the logged in phase. Both Uber and Lyft provide comprehensive and collision coverage if you have it offline. They'll provide it during the accepted ride phase, so you don't have to worry about that coverage being consistent there. Now, not all insurance is created equal. Also, not all rideshare companies are created equal. So you really need to sit down with your independent insurance agent to talk about where you're doing the work, whom you're doing the work with, what coverage they provide, and make sure that the coverage you have protects you to give you the coverage you want to have at the time of the loss. If you don't have an independent agent, or you'd like a second opinion, feel free to call, chat, or email. We'd be glad to sit down, have a conversation, and provide you with the best possible option. Thank you.